Hello everyone, myself Akash and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first video on this channel, so let me first introduce myself and I'll also be telling you the reason behind starting this channel. So talking about myself, my name is Akash and I'm currently pursuing BE and right now I am in third year. So let's talk about this YouTube channel. So the reason behind why I started this channel is that I wanted to document my journey like from learning to getting success. In this channel, I'll be uploading videos and I'll also be doing live streams on whatever the topic I'm learning. Mainly during live streams, I'll be reading books and blogs, and also I'm going to implement the code written in the books. I'll mostly be making videos and live streams on data science and distributed systems, and further whatever I'll be learning, which will be helpful for my technical growth. So right now what I'm learning is blockchain. So from today I am starting the blockchain fundamental program in this channel. So the series will be divided into 6 modules. So today we'll be starting the first module, which is the Bitcoin and crypto space in the blockchain fundamental program. So welcome to the first module in cryptocurrencies in the blockchain fundamental program. So whether you are an enthusiast, trader, aspiring blockchain developer, or just a curious individual who is looking to learn where and how blockchain can be used, so you have come to the right place. Blockchain technology is poised to affect so much of the world today in the financial, energy, identity, and IoT industries, just to name a few. But blockchain use cases weren't always this much, you can say. Throughout the blockchain found its primary use in cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin was its original inspiration. To understand the wider crypto and blockchain space, we must first seek to understand what is Bitcoin, the oldest and most widely understood blockchain application. You might have heard about Bitcoin, right? Throughout this module, we'll first learn what Bitcoin is and what its primary motivations are. Then we'll dive into 4-part build-up, Bitcoin consensus, and explain why Bitcoin is built the way it is. So what is Bitcoin? In this section, you'll learn about the origins and motivations of Bitcoin and the key distances between cryptocurrencies and normal currencies. I'll clear up some common misconceptions about Bitcoin and blockchain and also explain briefly Bitcoin's origins in the cypherpunk movement. We'll then draw a comparison between Bitcoin and banks and analyze each of the features and services they provide. And this all sets the stage for the next section, in which we'll build Bitcoin from the ground up, incorporating each of these features and services and seeing how they fit together. Most people, uh, most people struggle to answer the question, "What is Bitcoin?" because there are so many different ways to respond. First, Bitcoin is considered the first and the most widely used cryptocurrency. A cryptocurrency is completely digital, decentralized currency that is built using principle of computer science, cryptography, and economics. The term Bitcoin refers to the protocol governing this currency. Second, Bitcoin lowercase refers to the actual unit of currency. A Bitcoin user will say that they have a certain amount of Bitcoin, similar to how we say we have certain amount of dollars or rupees when referring to the US dollar or Indian currency. Third, Bitcoin is the inspiration for blockchain, which is the underlying data structure of this cryptocurrency. A data structure is a virtual format for organizing, retrieving, and storing information. The Bitcoin blockchain in particular stores a permanent history of all transactions to ever occur in the history of Bitcoin. It is an append-only ledger, meaning that any information added to the ledger cannot be deleted. But most importantly, Bitcoin is a cultural revolution. Rooted in from ideals from cypherpunks and libertarians, Bitcoin represents a shift towards privacy and decentralization. This cryptocurrency is not backed by any central organization, government, or company. Instead, Bitcoin is built by the user for the user. As we said, Bitcoin was inspired by the cypherpunk movement of the late 80s. Cypherpunks advocate for the protection of privacy using cryptography. They don't trust governments, corporations, or large organizations to respect privacy. These points of centralization accumulate a great deal of power over a society by collecting unimaginable amounts of information from millions of users. And the cypherpunks were some of the first to be concerned about the central entities stripping away the freedom of general public. One massive point of decentralization in modern day society is the financial system, where banks govern the economics of the entire country. Several different companies and researchers attempted to make a decentralized or anonymous currency, but all of them failed. Bitcoin was the first technology to succeed as a cryptocurrency. The Bitcoin white paper or research paper was published in October 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. The white paper was a 9-page concise proposal for the structure and function of a peer-to-peer electronic currency. Satoshi Nakamoto is a pseudonym or a false identity of an individual or a group of individuals. No one knows their real identity. However, what's important is that this white paper envisioned a currency where users do not rely on financial intermediaries or trust anyone in order to make transactions with each other. In Bitcoin, users do not need to use their real-world identities. Instead, they are represented by addresses, strings of random letters, and numbers. Bitcoin takes control out of the hands of third parties and gives users the freedom to transact while protecting their policy. So how does Bitcoin do it? On a high level, the Bitcoin network validates transactions and stores the entire transaction history. The Bitcoin network is a group of users communicating with each other as a part of a Bitcoin protocol. This network serves as a substitute for central bank and must have a certain properties to function correctly. Bitcoin is trying to create an open, accessible cryptocurrency not subject to censorship or centralization. But what are the problems? Keep in mind the problems of trying to create an open, accessible cryptocurrency not subject to censorship or centralization. There are no central parties to ask for information about user accounts, and there are no central parties to kick out or censor malicious users. Decentralized networks generally suffer from these problems, leading to inconsistencies between parties and malicious messages infecting the network. The most popular attack is known as the double spending attack, an attack where some value is used for more than its worth. In real life, it's easy to prevent double spending since dollar bills can't be copied and pasted. However, in digital currencies, there needs to be assurance that the virtual tokens have not been promised to more than one person. Bitcoin as a technology is trying to solve a very specific problem in the realm of distributed systems, when any node or computer within the network can come and leave as it please and behave however it likes. There are enormous possibilities for failure given the complete removal of centralization, which is why there are so many Bitcoin predecessors of Bitcoin which failed. So how does Bitcoin solve this problem? Bitcoin solves this problem through two things. First, the blockchain and the proof of work consensus protocol, both of which are Satoshi Nakamoto's most popular and influential innovation. Because of these two things, anyone with access of internet and a computer can join the Bitcoin network. There are no banks or any equivalent of the Federal Reserve on the Bitcoin network. Instead, everyone can verify and audit the transaction history on their own. And even the creation of money is decided not by a central authority, but through the process of mining of proof of work. So that's it for today. In the next video, we'll be talking about bank versus Bitcoin, right? So those who found today's video interesting and helpful, please leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell notification. I'll be coming up with more such videos. Thank you.